probably mentioned this in at least one of my previous Pokemon top 10s, but I love Ghost-Type Pokemon. Since Gen 1, Ghost types have been some of the most unique creatures in the series. Since it is October and I do need to make a video that is spooky, here's my top 10 Ghost-Type Pokemon. To be honest, the main reason I like Drifloon is because of how it looks. It's a little round purple balloon. What makes it interesting is the Pokedex. If you've seen literally any video about creepy dex entries, you've heard this before. Drifloon is known to carry children off to the land of the dead. Imagine being a kid and seeing this cool balloon floating around only to wind up in the underworld. Drifloon is also said to be formed by the souls of dead humans of Pokemon, and if the balloon pops, the spirits scream as they shoot out of it. We're only on number 10, but this might be the creepiest entry on the list. One of my favorite things about Pokemon is when they reference real-world myths, especially Japanese yokai. Frostlass is clearly based on Yuki Onna, with Pokedex entries saying that she was originally a woman who got lost on an icy mountain and that it freezes hikers and displays them in her home. If it weren't for the hole being filled with the screaming souls of children and all that, Frostlass might beat Drifloon in creepiness. Now there's nothing particularly special about Chandelure. Sure, it has great special attack and pretty unique typing, but there are plenty of better picks for competitive play. However, Chandelure isn't just playable in the main series RPGs. You can also play it in the 3D fighting game Pokken Tournament. In that game, Chandelure has a ton of range, so you can sit back and pelt the opponent with projectile attacks. The Pokedex entry for this one is a lot tamer than the last two, except for the part about burning people's souls, leaving their body an empty husk. Pretty brutal for something that's basically a haunted light fixture. Mismagius has to have one of my favorite designs. A purple ghost with a long wizard coat, big witch hat, and a cute little face. That's pretty much it. Mismagius has never really seen a lot of competitive play because of another Pokemon on this list, and its Pokedex entries aren't particularly interesting. It does use magic though, which is something we don't really see in the series. So why is it even on the list? I mean, look at it. It's neat. I like it. Sableye is a little purple goblin that eats rocks. It sounds pretty lame, but it's actually a pretty interesting Pokemon. It's one of only 2 Pokemon with the Dark and Ghost type combination, leaving it with only one weakness. It never really got a chance to do anything with this typing because of its low stats, but with the introduction of Mega Evolution, Sableye became a lot more useful. Its base ability Prankster lets it set up status moves with a higher priority before Mega Evolving to gain Magic Bounce, which reflects any non-damaging moves including hazards. When Sableye Mega Evolves, it gets pointier, and the gem on its chest pops off and gets much bigger. Finally, a Pokemon I've actually used. Mimikyu is a great choice for competitive play due to its contradictory typing, its moveset, and ability, which pretty much gives it a free substitute. But this list isn't about the competitive scene. If you want that, click the link up in the corner. Mimikyu is a very strong Pokemon and no one even knows what it looks like. As far as I know, all we've seen of it is a long black arm or something, and that's because most of its body is covered by a Pikachu costume. Well, I say costume, but it's more like a sheet with a face drawn on it, and Mimikyu will do anything to repair it if damaged. It goes through all that trouble because it's so lonely. Anyone who gets too close to a Mimikyu might be subjected to its Z move, Let Snuggle Forever. Once it takes you under that sheet, you're never coming back. Giratina is literally the devil of the Pokemon world. It was created by Arceus along with Dialga and Palkia, but was banished to the Distortion world for being too violent. While Dialga and Palkia control time and space, Giratina controls antimatter, which is like the opposite. In the Pokemon Origins anime, the leader of Team Galactic, Cyrus, tried to use Dialga and Palkia to destroy the universe, but Giratina essentially dragged him to hell. That's like the most badass thing that's ever happened in this series of games made for children. Giratina looks pretty badass too. It's a ghostly looking dragon, which is fitting since it is the only ghost dragon type, and it has black wings and elements of red and gold. Its origin form is even better. It takes the appearance of a serpent, becomes spikier, and the wings turn into long black tendrils with red claws at the end. Unfortunately, I've never really played much of Gen 4, so I didn't really get to experience the story of Giratina firsthand, but maybe we'll get a remake sometime soon. After barely playing Gens 3 and 4, Black and White brought me back into the franchise and into competitive play. Kind of. It was the first time I put any real thought into my team and tried breeding and EV trading for the first time. But before all that, I played through the game as usual with a team of whichever Pokemon I liked, and one of those was Golurk. It has what looks like a big band-aid over a crack in its chest, and if that seal is removed, all of its stored energy will explode out of it. Also, it can fly like a rocket, which I found hilarious when I first saw it. Here's another ghost that I and many other people use on a competitive team. Aegislash has a pretty amazing type combination, being immune or resisting 12 of the 18 Pokemon types. With its two forms, it either has extremely high attack or defense, slipping in and out of each mode depending on which action it takes. Being able to sit in shield form and build attack power with Swords Dance is a great setup, and alternating between attacks and King Shield is predictable, but what are you gonna do about it? Ban it to Ubers, that's what. It might not have the most imaginative design, but it's a very strong Pokemon overall, which is why it's this high on the list. And obviously number 1 is Gengar. The Gengar line were the only Ghost Pokemon in Gen 1, but as cool as they were in the original games, Gen 1 was pretty bad for Ghosts. They only had one stab move, which was Lick, and that sucked. And even though Ghosts were supposed to counter Psychic types, the Gengar line has a secondary Poison type which is weak to Psychic. None of that really mattered, of course, because Gengar is a beast with incredible special attack and speed stats. It's been high tier ever since Red and Blue, and got even better in later games when special attack became its separate stat. The addition of Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb gave Gengar 2 huge stab special attacks, and its Mega Evolution was quickly banned after the release of X and Y. Gengar is also a lot of fun to play in Pokken Tournament, having a very odd fighting style attacking from every angle. And its Pokédex entries make it seem like Gengar just enjoys tormenting people. It's got a great yet simple design and is a favorite for many fans of the series. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about these entries in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a happy Halloween.